One of these days, I'm actually gonna fit in here and like be silently drinking my coffee somewhere in between the movie screen and what life could be. I'm gonna fit in the film someday. Every day that I like, I don't know, 6 months ago, every day, my main goal was to try to figure out how to like overcome the world. How could I overcome the world? Create something or write something that made it seem like I had solved everything. And then I began to realize that life is just this variation of being closer and further away from the solution. And that's life in between those two things. But as soon as they close, it's like no longer can you breathe. But it's hard to just accept fate. It's hard to accept the idea that life itself is flawed, because you'd think that there was an answer to it. You'd think that you exist within this thing, so you should, know it. But no matter how hard you try to understand it, just puts you further and further away from being something that was given these things. Maybe ultimately, when you're trying to understand the world of that complexity, all you're really asking for is to be changed, to be somebody else, to be something else. Are you actually really searching for a solution? Maybe the solution is to try to work with who you are. If there's some code of understanding, maybe the code is in interpreting ourselves. Maybe the code is in trying to actually figure out what we want. I could almost imagine that. Somebody speaking and trying to understand themselves like they speak a foreign language. Do they really know who they are? Is there some procedure or some manner in which we can sort of dissect ourselves to understand? Maybe if I just understood how to speak to people more, just the idea of expressing simplicities, would then life be a reflection of ease? After all, how are you supposed to take some complex idea and make it become something very simple? Some simple take on the world. Complexity seems to just become more complex. Until again, I say you don't understand yourself. You don't understand yourself, and why? How is it so hard to talk to ourselves? We should be experts at it by now. We should know the ins and outs, what it is that we like and dislike. But I feel like we really don't know. Maybe if you could find out that part of you that never changes, maybe it would be like unlocking the soul. Some person that you would always be comfortable with in some way. Am I oversimplifying something now? Yo, what's up, Galusan? What type of music do I listen to? I used to listen to a lot of funk. Phonk. I used to like get into like a rage at the gym and just put on like funk and then go and like try to just like lift my hardest. I have videos. I used to go and like do monologues in the mirror and like try to pump myself up like, you're ferocious. You're near death. But death is the solution. It's like the last breath is where we finally achieve the idea that we've breathed. Yo, what's up, Laura? Yeah, funk. Phonk if you look it up. So yeah, like going off of that. You're sad right now? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully it's nice and bright here for you. And I wish that you weren't sad. Does that help? Maybe I could tell you like a story or something. A story about the Lightbringer. The Lightbringer was the smallest of the gods. And it was before he was known as the Lightbringer, actually. And he used to gather around everybody at the world's furnace. It was a giant galactic thing. Your older brother has friends, you're 8 and his friends are 12, and so no one like me. I would just say like don't let other people steal your joy. You should never rely on other people for how you feel. The more that you give other people the ability to control your emotions by making the more you allow them to be something in which you need their attention for your joy, then you're giving up your own ability to rely upon yourself. I think you need to learn how to rely upon yourself and not have emotional banks with everybody else. where you go and every day and every word that you say, you take some withdraw from them and you try to interact with people. I think to some extent, all of our interactions are just like everybody's a bank for us. Because really, if you think about it, if you said the right thing to people, then money's there, obviously. You know, but if you learn how to withdraw from the bank of your own soul, then I think you'll find out and you'll forever know that happiness and joy, they don't have to go when other people try to make them apparent. You can rely on yourself, Laura. But this little light bringer, again, was at the center of the universe, and all the other gods would show up and say, we are the most noble things to be here to witness from where life springs. And nobody would ever notice the little light bringer. And the stars would swirl around, and planets and galaxies. One tried to hit you, I'm so sorry. All I can say to that is maybe you should take karate. Maybe you should take karate or taekwondo. Learn how to defend yourself. But I'll tell you, the number one rule of karate is to never get in a fight. As Mr. Miyagi himself says, no, be there. Make sure you're not there. Because in a real fight, nobody wins. But you should learn to fight the fight. You should learn to create instead of try to destroy. The only way to fight against the idea that life is constrained, it's tense, is to learn to express yourself, express your soul. Somewhere in between the brush strokes, you'll know. Just like this little light bringer, every time after he would see the other gods at the center of the universe, he would remember a little part and paint. He would paint some little part of this picture. And one day, he went to the center again, and he was looking for everybody, and no one else was there. None of the gods, all of them were gone, and he was the only one. And he wondered what had happened. Why do they hate you? I don't think they hate you. I think that nobody really hates anybody. I think that people are just confused. I think everybody in the world is confused. I don't think anybody really hates. I think everybody's just confused, and the way to deal with confusion is to try to make it physical. The more that you try to make your reality physical, the more that you resort to violence. But your soul and the person who you are exists in another place. It's eternal. But they're so mean, I know. It's just people that are confused because life is confusing, life is scary. You should always look at somebody who's violent and say, maybe they're just confused. Maybe they're just scared. Maybe they really don't know what's going on. Why are they confused? I think everybody's confused. I think everybody's confused and nobody really knows what's going on in life, so everybody's kind of scared. That's where fear comes from. You know, nobody can go to anyone else and tell them what they think is going on. But maybe that's where we can all connect and we can all say, you know, something about ourselves in that place. Maybe we can understand ourselves in that place. Is that why we have transformer people now? I'm not sure what you mean, transformer people. What do you mean by transformer people? And anyways, the little light bringer, he went back after he saw that nobody was around the center of the universe anymore, the great cauldron. And he went back and looked at his picture that he had painted. And it was so nostalgic. He remembered everybody, the conversations they had. And guys that think they're ladies and ladies thinking they're boys. Yeah, the world's confusing. It's confusing for everybody, especially for them, I think. I think the world's confusing for all people. I think we're all just trying to make it physical. I think we're all trying to make it real. And sometimes when we try to make something really real, we make a choice. And a choice changes our reality. And it tries to make us cement something in our mind, but we're ethereal beings. We exist, in many places and many spaces, all over time. And we know how to interact, and we know where to go. We're beyond petty things like, natural desires of man and of vices and things to that extent. We exist in some place where everything is occurring, and we're able to experience that and understand it. Wouldn't another term than ethereal be more fitting? Yeah, we're ethereal beings. I think we are. I think we are very ethereal. I think everything relies on light, and we have a connection to it. Just like this little light bringer. We're from ether. Hey, what's up, Amana? But yeah, this little light bringer. And then he noticed something though. When he got closer to his picture, it seemed like he could hear something. So he backed away again, and he backed away farther and farther and farther, until he could hear everybody. How old am I? 33. I'm 33 years old, but I like to stay in shape. I get told I'm like 20 or something. But when I was 20, I was really in shape. So this little light bringer, he noticed that the further back he was from his painting, he could hear the voices of all the gods. He could hear all of them talking. And he wondered for a second, what was his role? Why was he surrounded by the gods all the time? Have I ever heard of the DMT laser experiment? I like to think that life is under your control. I don't really like to subscribe to any form of conspiracies or any radical histories, even if it is history. I like things to be simple. I like to say that the sun rises and the sun falls. The moon glows like a ball. People seemingly see the same thing when induced in DMT. Oh, I've heard they see aliens, right? Or whatever, don't they? Don't they all see aliens? But I like to think that, you know what, like, even maybe if I was on DMT, I would just say, you know what, life is very basic. It's as the sun radiates and the light escapes this place. Maybe the sun is searching. Maybe it doesn't actually radiate. It just searches for light. Like this little light bringer, this God we spoke of. And he realized that his painting got quieter and quieter and quieter as he got closer and closer and closer to it. But he could hear voices in the distance coming from where his painting was. And so he took it and he went back to the center of the universe. And he threw his painting of all the other gods into this vast, dense space. And as he did, the whole thing blinked. The whole thing blinked out of existence. And then all of a sudden, he was again there, surrounded by all the gods. And they didn't notice him. But something told him, maybe, just maybe, he was something bigger just looking back. And that's the story of the little light bringer. No, only a laser people see the same info. Everyone described the exact same thing under DMT, but trips are more personal. Only in a laser people see the same info? I've never seen that. I've never heard of this. Is this something that Joe Rogan talked about? I'm wondering if Joe Rogan talked about this. And if so, what was the episode? Who was he with? Because I know he talks about a lot of this stuff. Yeah, I'm sure he did. It sounds like something he'd talk about. But yeah, so in our story about that little Lightbringer guy, he was the great vastness that they were peering into the whole time, and he painted everybody. But in the end, he was just looking back at them again. Just YouTube DMT laser experiment. Do I really want that on my algorithm? I like my algorithm. It doesn't go down any rabbit holes. It's just like funny. It's like funny stuff. And there's like sometimes Japanese people like cutting stuff with swords. Right? My algorithm is like it's very just like chill and funny. Do I really want to like introduce DMT laser experiments to my algorithm? You know what I mean? For any TikTokers out there, you guys know TikTok, right? Was anybody here like a big TikToker? I was. And like everybody would always say like, I built my For You page brick by brick, right? Everybody would always say that. Or they would come to a video like the DMT laser experiment you're talking about, maybe, and they would be like, I didn't place this brick. Like, I swear to God, I wasn't the one who placed this brick here. You know? But man, we're just chilling back, having a cup. Maybe I'll look it up. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking with you, man. Maybe I'll look it up, but we're just swirling thoughts inside our head, you know what I mean? Maybe we make connections. Maybe some things are better off not said. The world is somehow solid, but it fails. So in some sense, it's nothing as well, which makes me think that really we are free. We're free from everything. But if so, then why do we keep doing the same thing? I don't know. But I think about it. And I think about it a lot. And I drink a lot of coffee too. I drink a lot of coffee and I think about a lot of the stuff. Yours is full of weird videos, consciousness, paranormal, medicine, drugs, and religious. Yeah, mine's just like, because every morning I wake up, I do a stream every morning at like 6 in the morning where I do like morning news with people, and we just watch like funny videos. It's like, I started it off like doing actual news stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, okay guys, like it's 6 in the morning, we're gonna get up, and like whoever wants to come and join, we'll like watch the news, we'll like watch morning news posts, and we'll like comment on stuff like that, you know? But then all of a sudden we just ended up watching funny videos for like an hour. I do this every morning. So it's like, all mine is like just funny videos. Mine used to be like yours, I feel like UFOs and like consciousness and like other dimensions and stuff like that. A lot of conspiracy theories. But again, like I said, I don't adhere to anything that promotes the idea, you know, that consciousness isn't just like the sun. I don't even like to believe in history too much, sons. I just like to think that, you know what? Maybe the moment is one. Maybe everything is one. And the more that I focus on that, the more I feel like the sun. And I'm bright and I'm beaming. And I can be everywhere at once, just like light seemingly I can take flight. Maybe it's just with words, but maybe that's how you fly at night. Like a bat, you use sonar, you figure out the place. But maybe flying's just like painting, so I paint things in place. And then I realize that my hand flies across the canvas and it trains my eyes. And I remember things, and then the night brings dreams that sing, and I fly around, and it seems like I really know then. Maybe I really do know. So I don't really subscribe to any conspiracies or lies or anything like that. I just like to say the sun's up, the sun's in the sky. You know what? Maybe that's the reason why. Sometimes the moon is there, though. And so maybe it's like a giant question mark. And it's like, where did the sun go? Maybe all of a sudden science is true, everything's experimentation. And the importance is all of a sudden on money, though. Why is science a monetized thing? Then I think to myself, maybe business is like controlled water springs. I don't know, man. I think about a lot of things. Sometimes the moon comes out at night, and sometimes the sun is just too bright. Sometimes I take a sip of coffee. But yeah, guys, this is just what happens when you write like 30 books, 30 journals, and you just don't, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do with like the written word anymore? You know, you just experiment with it. You try to make it like sound quick but lasting at the same time. It's a flash of light. And then you think to yourself, how can I break it up and mash it together? Like ink in a cup. And if I drink this ink, does the blackness sink deep within me, and do I become some acting word? Or is that absurd? But don't all things come from some great mass, some unformed, thing, like a thought that's past? Well, that's the type of stuff I think about. Obviously, that's the type of stuff I post about too. But anyways, I got a haircut today, guys. It's pretty short. It's shorter than I've had my hair in a long time. And this is longer than I've kept my beard off in a long time. I'm glad you guys are here, though. I'm glad somebody's here to listen to these words. I hope that they don't sound absurd. Maybe they're calming. Maybe they're soothing. Maybe it's just like flowing water. Maybe somehow you can imagine somebody actually being able to walk on these words. Like words were just energy. They're vibrant, a spring. Maybe that's all everything is in the end. They're just words, my friend. And words, they come out at different vibrosities, different tones. Some echo, some you don't know. And if a man could walk on water, though, maybe it would be like being able to take everything and say that water, again, was just like this energy. And then they could radiate just like a spring. Be cool and fresh with everything. Then maybe in that place, that guy can walk on water even. Life's all about what you say, folks. How do you know you're saying the right thing, though? You know what I mean? One word can change the world, guys. One word can change the world. I believe in magic, and you want to know how simple it is? It's one word. You think that life doesn't have a purpose? Well, let me tell you something. Life's got to have a plan, because if not, it would be so crazy. It'd be so crazy. It'd be out of hand. Because like I said, one word can change everything, man. Yo, thank you. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is just midnight at the coffee shop, We're just like kind of running around in the dark. We're not worried about where we're going, you know what I mean? Hopefully we don't run into anything and whatever, but isn't it amazing what you can say? You can just run with it. Nobody's gonna judge you. Nobody's gonna say you're wrong. It's just all about the tone, you see? If your tone is like this entity that knows nothing, then it can see that everything is plain, so plain that it's like paper. That's like the brain. So you just say these things and don't refrain, and they'll come out without a strain. And then in some way, life is creative. It's allowed for this perspective. And then you can finally talk your way. You can say things that no one else can say. Maybe it's love, maybe it's chaos, maybe it's a piece of your mind. Maybe it's simply just giving something your time. But then in that place, maybe you can find some rhythm. You can understand, okay, the word isn't absurd, and it's like this energy. Again, like I said, the sun is what I see. It rising and it falling, and no one can tell me otherwise. All right, guys, my coffee's all gone. It's been a decent little 30 minutes here. I come here like every day at around 9 o'clock in the morning and around 5 o'clock or like 6 o'clock at night. So anybody who enjoyed my little tellings or whatever, I have videos like this on my channel. You can go back and rewind any one you want to. I go into songs and lyrics and poems and whatever else you guys want to have. It's all there, but yeah, it's fresh every day. Again, at like 9 o'clock here at the coffee shop in the morning and like 6 o'clock at night. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna go. Peace out, love. And above all else, keep your promises to yourself. Okay, bye.